welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and the boxing capital of the world. Not only boxing, the whole sports. We've got so many sports here in Las Vegas. And again, we have my co-host with me today, none other than the beautiful Shelley Stevens, co-host.
Hey.
And today we have a special guest who's going to bring us a lot of information. I met him most recently through a friend of mine, Sam, who was with the Pan Rehab here in Las Vegas. And Sam is what's her name, Sam, and our guest today is none other than Ralph Krause.
Hi.
Ralph Krause, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you know, it was an honor being on your show the other day. We had a Zoom meeting with individuals, youth all around the world. Your title, you're a digital innovator, right?
Yeah, I work in education. I've been a teacher for about 20 years, but my expertise is connecting students with various guests like yourself.
Yeah, you did that the other day. You had me online. How many individuals were on that show?
It was probably about 400 or 500 students across Latin America. Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to them in English. They all spoke pretty good English.
Yeah.
Two of them spoke to me, one Manuel and Maria. And they both spoke to me in English very well. I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, they're talented kids.
Can you tell me about that program? What is it you do with the program per se?
Sure. It's called Edutainment Learning, and it's just to connect kids around the world to help inform them, educate them, and encourage them to dream big. So since its inception about 10 years ago or so, it's connected about 1,100 guest speakers with students in about 52 countries.
Wow.
That's awesome. How'd you get started doing it?
When I was a teacher, I just noticed that the kids, they weren't as apt to things that I was saying, so I'd bring in experts, and they would kind of latch on to what some of these experts were saying, and then the technology with video conferencing was evolving, and I decided to leverage that technology to help support what I was trying to accomplish as a teacher.
Now with the AI, how's that going?
AI, that's a different thing. I mean, it helps where, like, if you go on my website, edutainmentlearning.com, you pull up, like, podcasts like yours, and through AI, it pulls your audio and creates assignments based on that just through AI. Yeah. So there's a Joe Cortez assignment on there now.
We're going to build some stuff together because I want to get more visibility with what we do so I can help these youngsters around the world.
Sure.
I mean, I was so impressed the other day with these kids who talk to me, asking me so many questions. I said, wow, I got to do something on a regular basis to help them out, you know?
Yeah.
Because they were from Spain, Ecuador, Panama,
all over.
Puerto Rico, Mexico. I mean, all over the world.
That's just the kids listening live. We have a lot of kids that listen to the podcast because we have the analytics. I'm sure you guys have your analytics where you can see the countries that are downloading this, like Israel and Angola and Kenya, and they're listening to it after the fact, which is fascinating because, you know, some of them like having to do with, you know, Holocaust survivors or the dangers of socialism or like political ones that, you know, are kind of very interesting where kids in these countries that are communist countries, they're listening to this kind of stuff and learning for themselves.
Sure. I really enjoy talking to them because it made me feel like back when I was growing up from a single parent home, it wasn't easy, and you know I needed some guidance and some help along the way. And these kids the other day, it was like an honor. I said to myself, I'm gonna pay it forward. Like when Gaspar Ortega, the fighter, got me started in boxing, he was like a big brother. He guided me in the right direction, kept me out of gangs, out of drugs, kept me on the right track, and that's what I enjoy doing these days. You know, helping people get them on the right track. Our show is about helping people. We're not here about saying that I got the best. It's about you. I want to help these guys out there, especially young men and young ladies out there that need some help, some direction. You know, like Shelley from Philadelphia, and you went to college and you were airline stewardess at one time. Tell us a little bit about what you do with the young kids.
Oh my goodness! Well, actually, the latest thing I've done is my husband and I taught a class at UNLV, and my husband, he was with like these famous groups back in the day, but he started when he was like 14 years old. When you're that young, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know which papers to sign and which not to sign, and he like signed away all his rights and everything to all the songs he wrote and everything. Made a lot of mistakes, and then after that, he was a little bit discouraged, and he went out and he started playing on his own in Philadelphia, just playing the piano in a restaurant. He says, "I love the music, but I don't like the music business," right? I was a flight attendant at the time because I wanted to see the world. I had done Broadway musicals in New York, being from Philly.
Wow.
So I was born in Jersey, so the tri-state area was my stomping grounds. And I'm like, you know what? There's a big world out here. I want to just travel and go around the world. How can I do that for free? Okay, I'll be a flight attendant. So I joined up with Pan Am. So you know how old I am, right?
No, you're
no more
fine.
Pan Am. And, you know, after that, I was home one time on a break, and I went into this restaurant with my girlfriend for my birthday, and Wesley was playing, my husband, he was playing the piano in this restaurant, and he knew my girlfriend, so he came over and started talking. He found out I did Broadway musicals, and he's like, come up to the piano and sing with me. I was like, okay. So I did, and this guy came over, and he goes, I'm opening up a club around the corner next week. I want you to be my entertainment. I'm like, I don't do this for a living anymore. I'm a flight attendant. He says, well, if you ever change your mind. Okay. I said, okay, I'll think about it. So after that, I would come back and visit him. And we started dating, and then I was still flying with Pan Am, and one day he just said to me, he says, don't go to work today, stay home, play hooky, don't go, just be here, let's get some music and stuff together. And I'm like, oh, God, I really love my job. But okay, I'll stay home. And that was the day they had an explosion on Pan Am flight from Lockerbie, Scotland.
Yeah.
He's like, well, basically, I saved your life, so now
Yeah.
you have to marry me. I was like, okay. So that's how we got together. Yeah, and after that, we called the guys, like, are you still interested in some entertainment? Because I have no job now. I quit. And that's how we got
The
started.
rest is history.
And
Yeah.
Rob, talk a little bit about your sports league, your first sports league.
But which sports league? What do you?
The one you had with the 12th graders, you were the first sports league in 6th and 12th grade,
That's not
grade
me.
schools.
That's not me.
No,
You're a good brother.
It
I
says it
wish.
Right there, I know, right?
you had this first sports league, and for 6th to 12th grade schools.
No,
Okay.
I mean I coach with my son's middle school flag football league.
And what school was that?
That's at Pinecrest Academy, Sloan Canyon. We have a charter school league where we have a lot of the charter schools in Southern Nevada play each other, and we're starting to develop varsity football teams and varsity sports in general to try and have them play the other public school teams, and so there's a lot of opportunities there when it comes to letting these schools play each other in the development of some of these athletes who otherwise wouldn't get that kind of exposure if they're going to some of the other schools.
Now, how many schools you have here in Nevada?
In Southern Nevada, Academica manages 24 in Clark County. So we have the Matter Academies, Pinecrest Academies, Somerset's, Durrell's, Slam Academy, Young Women's Leadership Academy. And these are public schools. They're tuition free. You can go to any of these websites like pinecrestnv.org, and anyone can sign up. It's a lottery system. And it's, I'm very happy and pleased with it as a parent. My son goes to a Pinecrest school, and it's just nothing but success for him compared to when he was going to the regular CCSD schools. There were
What do you think
issues.
about homeschool? I mean, a lot of parents do some homeschool. What do you think about that?
It just depends. I mean, this is like a freedom of choice kind of thing for the individual parent. I personally wouldn't want that because I want my kid to be able to socialize.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's kind of difficult issues where, I hate to say it, there's issues that he's got to deal with on his own. He's got to learn how to deal with that independently.
Yeah, otherwise, it would be like an introvert, and they won't be able to communicate.
I think there's a lot of. I could see the pluses and negatives with both, but me personally, I think kids should go to school for socialization
Sure,
purposes.
it's so important to mingle with other individuals out there, because now you grow up being, like I said, introvert. You're not socializing with nobody. It's a different life. You got to be out there and say, get in there, mingle with everybody. Get out there to learn about different avenues that you can go to when you develop out of the teenage, you move into adulthood. You want to be sure of yourself.
Sure.
And if you're homeschooled, you're holding back a little bit.
When you were going to school, what was that like in Spanish Harlem?
It wasn't easy because, we had to travel by train all the way from Manhattan all the way to the Bronx. But it was okay, A lot of guys were, a lot of bullying. There was a lot of bullying in school. But one guy, there's a guy, I don't forget his name, Vladimir Juzina. Vladimir Juzina.
Let's hopefully
Vladimir
listen to
Juzina
this.
got me in junior high school.
Wow.
Man, he rested in peace. He passed away. But not from me, but he was picking at everybody. I said, go out the hallway. Went in the hallway, the big guy. I had a punch in his nose started bleeding. Will you believe that in 1961, when I became open champion, he became heavyweight champion in the novice division? That was unbelievable. I said,
What
wow.
weight class were you in?
I was a bantamweight, 118 pounder.
And you hit the heavyweight.
He was a heavyweight.
Yeah.
I saw him back in the locker room, Madison Square Garden. I said, "You're fighting for the championship." I said, "You remember that day in Wagner Junior High School on 77th Street and between 1st and 2nd Avenue?" He said, "Yeah, I remember that school. Remember you were picking on everybody?" Friday, and you were picking on me. I said, and I went in the hall. Come on, go to the hall. Remember, I hit you with that right hand. He said, Joe, you were amazing. When a little skinny guy like you, I thought I could blow you away. And I said, here we are. You're fighting for heavyweight championship, novice division, and I'm fighting for the open championship.
That's great.
Yeah,
I would assume that he would just say, I don't remember that.
I was gonna say, he's got a memory, right?
But I tell you what, he stopped picking on me for that.
I bet.
But I mean, I was being bullied in school a lot. And I tell these kids out there, don't let people bully you. If they do, you know what? Get away. Say, I'm coming back another day. Even if you say to yourself, you inspired me to come back another day. I'm going to show you what I got. And that's what Vladimir Jazina did for me. I said, you big bum, you think you can pick on me? Ain't gonna happen no more. And it gave me so much confidence in myself. Anyway, but then later on I became, I was a boxer, amateur boxer.
You were Golden Gloves in the 60s, correct?
60, 61, 62, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And 61 was a big year. That's a year. There was a famous trainer by the name of Emmanuel Stewart.
Yeah, I know who that is.
You know,
yeah.
and one day he saw me in Germany. I was with
From
a fight.
Detroit.
He had a fight in Germany, and he saw me. He was training a fighter. I think it was Michael Mora. He said, Joe, you remember a guy named Oscar German? I said, yes, I do. He said, are you the skinny Puerto Rican from New York that beat him for the national championship? I said, that's me. He said, Joe, he beat me in the semifinal. I didn't get to the finals because of him. I said, yeah, well, I beat you, the guy that beat you, yeah. And he said, man, that's amazing. Oscar German was one of the best. He was on the same team with Muhammad Ali.
That's amazing.
You know, in 1960,
The Olympics, yeah?
Yeah, and Oscar German was a national champion. And I was watching him. I was a novice that year, 1960. I was watching him. He was fighting the Open Championship. It was the New York versus Chicago for a national championship. And I was watching this guy, Oscar German. He knocked out a guy named, last name Rivera from Puerto Rico. He knocked him out cold. I said, well, then the following year, they said, Joe, that's the guy you're fighting for the national championship. I said, really? Okay. I got out there, you know, the guy couldn't touch me, man. I was moving, slip sliding. I was bobbing and weaving. He was trying to hit me, couldn't catch me. I was tall, skinny, but I punched him every round, you know, and won a unanimous decision. I became a national champion that year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was 1961.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I turned pro in 1963, which was good. You know, after I had 45 amateur fights, I had 43-2 record. My first loss was in Montreal, Canada, against a French Canadian by the name of Marcel Berfet. Now, Marcel Berfet was a good fighter, a good bantamweight. He was Canadian champion. I was U.S. champion, and we fought. That's when I lost my first fight. 2 judges gave it to me, and 3 gave it to him in Montreal, Canada. I said my brother won, and another fighter named Johnny James, a middleweight, he won. I was the only one of the 3 that lost. You know, but anyway, it was a good experience for me. I'm still looking for him. Marcel, if you're still alive, I want to come back, buddy. I want a rematch. Because I'm making that comeback, buddy.
What I liked when he was a guest on my show with my kids is they were asking him not so much questions about boxing, but about stage fright because they have to give speeches and stuff like that. And he gave solid advice to those kids.
I saw the interview. It was great. Yeah.
But you know, let me tell you one thing I learned about boxing helped me a lot because it helped me have more confidence in myself and build up my self-esteem. And I said to myself, you know, I can do this. I'm not going to be afraid to do anything. I mean, I did the toughest part was becoming a national Golden Glove champion. Even becoming a New York champion was tough. I made a national championship. I said, it give you confidence. That's why I tell you young kids out there watching, please go forward. Stay clean, stay out of drugs, out of gangs. You keep yourself healthy, eat right, sleep right, and do some training. You know, to build up the stamina, you got to run 3 or 4 miles every day, and you can make it too. If I did it, you can do it too.
Sky's the limit, right?
Yeah, sky's the limit, right. So tell a little bit more about you, Ralph. I mean, you're an interesting person. You have a lot going for yourself these days. How many more countries are involved with your program?
We're a little over 50 now, last I checked. And so that's all over. Like sometimes there's kids in countries like even Cuba, like, and even in China where they're tuning in. And I don't think they're even allowed to, but they're tuning in because they just want to learn. And that's this different thing that we don't have here in America where there's this intrinsic motivation to learn. Here it's just everyone's trying to, you know, get those Common Core standards and teach to the test of English, math, science, and that's it. Whereas these kids in other countries, they're learning from the heart, where they're coming there because they want to learn from these experts.
Well, let me tell you one thing. When I went to China one time, I went there twice. One time I was there with Mike Tyson, and he was just a guest, and I refereed 2 championship, 3 championship fights while I was there. But I was with these kids. There's one girl, a young girl, she was college. She spoke English. She was the interpreter that they used for me for that particular day. And we went to the Great Wall of China, which was a great experience going up, traveling up to a Great Wall. I mean, you hear about it, but when you're actually there yourself. And this one girl, she was with us all day. At the end of the day, when we were talking about family, my family, I thought about my 3 daughters and what I did with my daughters, how much I love them and whatnot, Cindy, Sandy, and Christine. And we were talking, and then she said, at the end of the day, when she said goodbye to me, she started crying. I said, why are you crying? She said, I wish I had a father like you, you know. She was so awesome. I hugged her. I felt, it's so nice, nice. It's a communist country, but there are people there that are good people like you and I,
Yeah.
They can't help it. But she was like left out. She said, I don't have the attention at home. Nobody hugs me. Nobody kisses me. I hugged her, and it made her feel special. But a lot of individuals around the world, not only China, but all over the world, the little hug, a little attention, it's so special to show the love and attention and pay it forward.
There's been a lot of guests that we've had that have really touched my heart. As you come in contact with some of these people, like escapees from North Korea, Holocaust survivors, 9/11 survivors, astronauts, World War II veterans, CIA spies, former boxers, former, professional athletes, you name it. And everybody has a story to teach or a lesson to teach on this planet to one extent or another. And that's the beauty of it, is that you could just keep going, and these lessons, they essentially create themselves to where these kids can learn from everybody, Yeah.
Yeah.
I love children. As a matter of fact, today we went out to breakfast before we came here, and then we met a family there, a beautiful family. How many kids did they have?
4, 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yeah, they were all together at
The
this
little boy was
restaurant.
Jason. I don't know the girl, but the little boy is Jason.
Yeah.
He's 5 years old.
And they were just so sweet. The little boy was like playing peekaboo with me. We had a booth next to mine. And then when we got up to leave, the little girl just ran over and gave me the biggest hug. I almost cried. I was like, oh my God, you're making me miss my grandkids and Billy. But it was just so sweet. I love kids. I do.
Now, do you do anything with like music education, or have you ever?
No, the first time we did it was at UNLV. I had a friend of mine. Her name is Patrice Isley, and she's friends with someone over there at UNLV, and she was doing a seminar in the summer. And she had me and my husband come and speak to them about what to do and what not to do in the music business and stuff like that. And that was great. I would love to get into doing some more stuff like that because I just love kids.
You
too.
should.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I want to. If you ever need me, call me.
We will. We always use musical guests.
Seriously, yeah.
So what's on your horizon with you now?
We have a lot of guests. If you go to edutainmentlearning.com, any teachers out there, it's free for anyone to sign up, or you can log in to see not even log in, but just check out some of the old guests like yourself. And I'm always looking for new guest speakers, so I know that you have a lot of boxers and professional athletes who watch the show, so feel free to reach out. Sure. And just always looking to connect kids with interesting people that help educate them and inspire them to dream big.
I had one day, I had Evander Holyfield on the show.
Okay.
On the split screen.
This one?
Yeah. Well, he was on a split screen.
Okay.
We did it because he was in Florida. They couldn't make it up. But he said, Joe, I promise you I'll be on your show. He was we spoke about the days of a lot of fans out there say, Jay, Evander Holyfield. Remember, he's the guy that got his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson.
He also did other stuff besides that. People forgot. He was an Olympic boxer, too.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people say, hey, Joe, you fought Mike Tyson? He knocked you out, right? I was never heavyweight. Mike Tyson knocked out a guy named Joe Cortez, but not this Joe Cortez.
No, it's a different one.
It's a heavyweight. I was never heavyweight.
It was in what, 1980 or something?
Yeah. I said when I was boxing, Mike Tyson wasn't even born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back in the early '60s,
Yeah.
But I tell you, it's so much fun to be able to be talk to the viewers out there, to learn about what's going on in this world. A lot of people think that this is not a comedy show. We're here to educate and help people open doors. That's what we love to do. This is not a comedy show. This is help, hug, kids, love and understanding is something that we all need. And that's what I love doing this show. That's why I think I started this show. It was about boxing at first, but after a while I said, there's other people out there that would like to learn about how did Joe Cortez grow up? How was his beginning? How did he make it? How was he successful? It wasn't easy, but there's ways of doing it. And I tell you viewers out there, if your parents, your kids, help your children, guide them in the right direction. If you're doing smoking, using drugs at home, or you're drinking, you're getting drunk in front of your kids, they're going to follow your steps. Do the opposite. Be straight with the kids. Once in a while, you will go out socialize privately with your loved one. That's okay, but not in front of the kids. Don't be cussing and fighting. That's not good for the kids. That's the way they're going to grow up. They say the fruit doesn't fall too far from the tree. That happens when your kids see all this going on, all the drugs and fighting and cussing. They do the same thing. So we try that. I didn't have that at home. My mother was very humble, very sweet, very caring. She always tell me, Joe, don't forget, always help people out there. Always help them out no matter what. And that's what I'm doing these days.
Yeah, help people as if you were helping Jesus. As if these strangers were Jesus. Treat them like that. So that's
exactly
what it is. You have Fair But Firm. What other legacy would you want to leave besides Fair But Firm?
Well, I want people to know that I'm a caring, loving guy. Your attitude will get you to a higher altitude. So the attitude is so important. How you carry yourself. People respect you for how you carry yourself. Don't try to be a clown. Don't try to be arrogant. Try to be humble, sweet, loving, caring, and understanding. People have to understand that you care for them and you want to help them out. You treat people with kindness and affection. They develop to be the same way. I treat Shelly like if she was my little sister.
There you go.
And she is to 17 last week.
Yeah, sure. Plus 3 times, probably 3 times 17.
And husband Wesley, Wesley's your husband, they're both loving people. They're so sweet. Everybody loves them because they're good. That's why I got on the show. I said, I need somebody like you on my show. I'm tired about being on the show by myself. I need somebody who can be kind, loving, understanding, and share your knowledge and wisdom with them, and especially in the entertainment field.
Yeah, then we get a lot of entertainers on here that I've been friends with for years. After doing cruise ships for 23 years, we made a lot of friends around the world. I can sing in like 7 languages now.
What?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in China.
What were some of your more memorable moments, like in your career travels?
I did the Beijing Olympics, and we got to sing. They had like a special cruise going in and out.
Was it 2003? When was that?
I think so. Yeah. So, and just singing, learning how to sing in all those languages and watching the children's faces, because I love kids, and they would come up and dance and sing, and it was just amazing, So we were over in Asia for a long time. Matter of fact, the company we were with, it was called Genting, and they were the ones that owned Resorts World on the Strip here in Vegas. But after COVID, they kind of split up a little bit. So, it's just been great. What can I say? I meet people from all over the world, and I love to sing in their languages. So that's like one of the highlights of my career.
It's amazing.
So how many kids do you have of your own?
I have one kid. He's a 13-year-old boy. His name is Patton, named after General Patton.
So he just became a teenager.
He is a very sweet, very mature kid, and I couldn't ask for a kinder kid.
It sounds like he came out like a father.
I was not that sweet when I was his age, and so I don't know.
He follows your steps.
Yeah, he is.
The way you are now.
He does, yeah.
You're a kind, loving guy, and he follows your footsteps. That's so important.
He's a good guy. He's a very good kid.
Yeah, now tell me, now the kids around the world, the kids that are watching, and we wanted to make sure you can share the show.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
I know you got a couple of 100,000 people around the world that would like to watch the show. The Joe Cortez Show is on every Friday, but you can watch it on YouTube or Facebook channel. We're on every week. I've been on for a number of years. I got my engineer here, Rick Manning. He's a great guy. I've been with Rick a number of years, 5, 6, 7 years already, I think. And I do my shows every week.
Well, if you guys ever want to collaborate, let me know. Because I know the kids, they had fun last week. And if there's any guests you think that would be good for our kids, just let me know.
Get a couple of 100,000 people out there.
Yeah, there you go.
And we can, with 50 countries, why not?
Yeah,
we can do it.
There you go. We get all kinds of emails. Like I got one the other week from Japan, of all places. I did one. The guy, he was a survivor of the Hiroshima bomb, and he was 7 years old, and he survived it. And over there, they traditionally didn't talk about being survivors. They kind of kept it quiet, as there was some sort of shame or something like that with that. And so I did this through a translator, and he discussed surviving it. They have a term for them. I can't remember what it was, but it was a big deal for them culturally to let this guy speak about his thing. And I got a very nice letter from the University of Hiroshima about it. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah, Japan was a beautiful place. I've been there many times.
Yeah, we lived there. My husband and I, we lived in Japan
Whereabouts?
for 10 years in Kobe, right outside
Okay.
of Osaka.
Okay.
And we used to perform in Tokyo and Nagoya and all kinds of places.
Oh,
in
you mentioned
Japan.
Osaka. I remember catching that bullet train from Tokyo
Yep.
to Osaka.
Yep.
I used to catch that train. Man, that train going like 150 miles an hour.
Did you ref over there?
I refereed there about 5 or 6 times in Japan.
Wow,
I've
man.
been all over the world.
It's a shame
Korea.
we didn't know each other back
That's
then.
amazing.
Well, your husband's a big fight fan. He's a
I know.
He's one of
Oh
my
my
big- he's
God,
one
we
of
would
my
have been
biggest-
there at every fight. We would have known you back then.
Yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I enjoy doing that, you know. I did it started refereeing when I was 33,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was 69, I said, that's it, I'm out of here. I did 35 years as a referee. And I said, you know, that was enough for me. After my dream was to do one world title fight, Ralph.
You did 117, right?
176.
176. That's what it is.
176, yeah. And it was an honor for me to be involved. Got to meet a lot of people around the world. What I learned traveling around the world, you don't learn in school. You have to travel around the world, actually be involved with people, learn different cultures and how people live and how they act and how they treat you. How you learn how to deal with different people of all walks of life. That's so important growing up. And I learned that through those years as a referee. So boxing for me was a blessing. It opened up so many doors, a lot of new avenues that I experienced because of boxing.
That's amazing that you bring that up. I had a guest on. His name is Sanjeev Chopra. He's the brother of Deepak Chopra, and this guy's an expert on happiness at the University of Harvard, right? Harvard University. And he had said that the true source of happiness is intrinsic experiences versus extrinsic things like houses and cars and all that. So going out and seeing the world, that's the true source of happiness.
You deal with people and learn the people how they treat you, different cultures. Even when I was in China, people say, communist China, wait a minute. You got North Korea, wait a minute, there's good people all over the world. You know, there's good people. And I got to experience that. You know, we traveled to Australia, you travel to Italy, Spain, you know, South America, all over the world. You know, you say to yourself, yeah, it's an honor. You know, you get to travel. They pay you for traveling. It's like a vacation. I was working, but I enjoy it. I love it. I didn't call it work. I call it enjoyment. Being in that ring to me was like dancing on a dance floor. I used to love to dance.
And what would you say is like the heyday of your career as a referee? Like around what years or decade would you say is?
I would say in the late 80s and 90s.
Yeah, I would guess that,
You know,
yeah.
That's they call it the golden era. You know, when Mike Tyson, Julio Cesar Chavez, Aldo De La Hoya, Lennox Lewis, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, so many great fighters. I could go on and on. 176 title fights. But the mid 80s to the mid 90s, actually all of the 90s, because I retired in 2012. So the 90s was all good years for me. That decade was great. But I had a lot of fun refereeing those fights. It was an experience that only a Joe Cortez in the ring could tell you the feeling. When I refereed one day, Julio Cesar Chavez and Greg Haugen, and speedy recovery for Greg Haugen. I hear he's not doing too well these days. Anyway, I refereed a fight in Mexico City with the largest crowd boxing in history, 136,000 fans in Stadium Azteca. You know, and Chavez stopped up. Actually, I stopped the fight in the 5th round. Haugen couldn't continue. He got dropped a couple of times. I decided to stop it in the 5th round. But that was an experience for me, doing a fight of that magnitude, 136,000 fans, you know, and traveling around the world. I remember after 9/11, I went to Germany, and I was doing a fight over there, and they started playing the national anthem, the American national anthem, for the referee. Because the other fighter was German, and the other one was I think from Great Britain. And they say the national anthem for the referee. I felt so touched, you know, when they say national anthem. I said to myself, yeah, this is so special, you know, that here I am. I'm only a referee, but they gave you the respect for our country, USA. And I think it's so important that we all love each other. There's so much bad things going on these days that I don't like. I like to see people harmony. You know, I don't care what party you belong to, what nationality. Let's all hug and embrace each other. There's room for improvement. There's a love and understanding. We have to love each other. That's the most important thing in the world.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. Anyway, so Ralph, I'll tell you that it's an honor having you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
You know, having you here, we're going to get you back on again in the very near future. Maybe we'll bring a couple of young folks on the show with us to talk about your program.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, individuals to guide them in the right direction. Shelley, what do you think?
I think we should bring them to Lola's too.
There we go.
Bring
Join us for some
Yes,
Motown.
yes, Motown.
Lola's, you're there Saturday night?
Yes, we'll be there Saturday, and I want to thank everybody who came out to my birthday party last Saturday. It was so much fun, and besides Saturday, we're going to be there on New Year's Eve. So if you have no plans,
that
come on
out.
out in our neighborhood of Summerlin where it's safe. We don't have to go to the Strip, you know. It's like we have our own little party. It's great.
Well, my fans out there and my good friends, family members, and all the friends of Rough Cross all over the world watching, we say God bless you all. We wish we could hug you and kiss you. Anyway, we love you. Keep your guards up at all times. Remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. But keep your guards up. God bless you always. God bless. Happy New Year.
Yay.